Good morning, guys. In the last session, we discussed about the development plan for the admin API, and we have created all the required classes in our project. So we have created the binding classes. We created config class, constants class, entities available, exception, properties, repositories, REST controllers, service, and utility classes we have created. So these are the classes we developed in the last session, and I made few updates also. I have added variables in the entity class. In the entity class, I have added the variables, and in the binding classes also, I have added the required variables. Okay. So in the entity classes, I have given the variables. In the binding classes also, I have given the variables. So as I told you, I will do some work in this offline, and I have done the code push to the Git repository as well. I have shared the Git repository for you for the reference purpose. Whatever the code I'm going to do, I will be pushing that code into our Git repository. So if you see our IAS admin API, in this API, code push has done, and just 54 minutes, 1 hour back, I pushed my binding classes and entity classes. The remaining thing we have pushed yesterday itself. Now let's start with the coding part today. So we need to complete our implementation for the admin API. So mainly 3 functionalities available. For those 3 functionalities, we need to write the code. So first, let's go with the create account process. So here we are getting the form data, and there is a service, account service IMPL is available, which is implementing our interface. So create account method is available. This is responsible to create the user record. So what is the logic we need to write to create the user record? Let me go for font size increasing, tool window, appearance, zoom, presentation mode, increase font size, alt shift dot, increase font size, alt shift plus dot. Yeah. So is my font visible clearly for everyone? Are you guys able to see the font now? Right. So this is a class which we are representing as a Spring Bean. @service annotation is available to represent this as a bean class. Create user account. So when admin submit this form data, we need to capture the form data and we need to create the account. In order to create the account, we need to communicate with the repository. So let me go with the repository injection here. Private user repo is available for us. We created an interface that is user repo. Let us do dependency injection for the repository. For that, we will be using auto wiring. Now, form data is available, account form data, and I need to convert that form data into entity object to insert the record. So for this, I'm going for user entity. User entity is equal to new user entity. Copy the data from our binding object to entity object. We have done this several times using beanutils.copy properties. Beanutils.copy properties, source available. Source is our account form object. Target is our entity object. So I want to copy the data from binding object to entity object. Okay. User account form data is available. So copy properties from source to entity. So whatever the data is available in the binding object, it will be stored into entity object. After storing in the entity, we are going to call save method, user repo dot save. I want to save that record in the database. So it is a normal interface now. Let us make it as a JPA interface, extends JPA repository. Extends JPA repository. We are going to extend the properties from JPA repository. So this JPA repository will ask what type of record you want to maintain. That is user entity. The primary key is integer for that. Now go to the service. So in the service, account service IMPL, So I'm going to call user repository dot save of whatever the entity object we have. We are going to save the entity object. So if you observe in the form, we are not getting the password. We need to generate the password and we need to set the password for our entity and we need to send the email once the registration is successful. So here set random password and set account status. Okay, send email, right? After inserting the record into the database table, we need to send the email for the user to unlock the account, right? Entity object I'm creating. I'm getting the data from the form. Form data I'm copying into the entity object. For that, I need to set the random password. I need to set the account status as well. Okay, set the account status. That is entity dot set entity, that is user entity. In the user entity, @ data is not available. Lombok annotation for setters and getters. Now user entity. Now here entity dot set. Entity dot set. Why we are not getting that? User entity dot java @ data Lombok annotation to get the setters and getters. Entity dot set account status. So whatever the account status is available, set account status. So by default, we are setting the account status as lock. By default, we'll set the account status as lock and account switch will be inactive. Entity dot set active switch. So by default, active switch will be white. So the account will be active and we need to set some random password. Entity dot set password, whatever the password is required for our application. So here we have the PWD variable. For the PWD variable, we need to set some random password. So the random password we can generate by using a separate method, right? Generate random text in Java. You can generate the random text in the Java. So Java program to create the random text. So you can take some method which is used to generate the random text. You can create that method and you can call that method. So like this, you can generate some random text. So what characters you want to include in that random text, you can keep those characters. So I want to generate with uppercase characters, lowercase characters, and alphabets. So like this, you can take the method which is going to generate the random text which is required for our application. You can run this code directly and you can see what is the output we are getting. Now run this program. So when I run this program, you can see that random text is generating like this. So I want the same output. I want to generate a random password like this. Here, if you see the loop, specify length of the random string. I want the random string with only 6 characters. Run this. I will get the random password with the 6 characters. Right. This logic is sufficient for us. So let us take this method, which will give the random string for us. Create this method. This method we will call only within our service layer. So that's why I'm making it as a private method. Private string generate password. So this is the method. In this method, password will be generated. Let me return that password from this method. I'm taking some uppercase characters, lowercase, the numbers which I want. I am concatenating alphabets, lowercase, uppercase, and numbers. I'm taking a string buffer, random object I'm creating, length I'm defining as 6. So I'm taking the character by using the random character with the given length. I'm getting the index position. I'm adding to the string buffer. And finally, I'm returning that string buffer. So if I call this method, then I'm going to get random password which is required for our application. Set password, I'm going to call generate password here. So I'm going to get generate password here. For the entity, instead of going for data, better to go with setters and getters. Otherwise, we will get that Stack Overflow error. Let us generate setters and getters. Okay. generate getter and setter for all the variables. Okay. For all the variables, I want these things. Generate setters, getters for all the variables we have. Perfect. So with this, setters, getters generated for all the variables we have in the user entity. Same thing we need to do for plan entity also. Go for the plan entity. Here also generate getters and setters for all these variables. Click on OK. Yeah, setters, getters generated for all the variables which we have here in the planning. Generate getter and setter. Select the variables for which you want. I want for all the variables. Generate. Now IMPL, good. Setting the password, setting the account status, and setting the active switch and save method. We need to send the email. In order to send the email, there is a class called email utils class is available. In the email utils class, we need to write some logic to send the email that we can do later point of time. For time being, you can inject email utils class, private email utils class in our class by using auto wiring. So with the auto wiring, I'm injecting email utils class. So we need to send the email based on our subject, body, and to address. So email utils dot send email. What is the subject? So we can take the subject from the properties file. So for time being, I'm giving subject is equal to some text and string body is equal to some text and to address. So subject is available here. Body is available here. To address account form dot get email will be available. Account form dot get email. User account form is available. In this user account form, user account form is available. So using this user account form, we can call this get email method to send the email address. Okay. So this email address is going to return a Boolean value, Boolean status. What is the status of this email? If this is true, that means the record is inserted and the mail is sent successfully, right? So based on this, my method is going to return the status, whether the record is inserted or not inserted based on this. So instead of doing that directly, I can call return email utils, right? This is the method which is used to create our user account. Create user account. We are taking the form data. We are taking user account. The user account form data we are getting. Whatever the form data we are getting, that form data we are copying to entity object. Method is taking binding object as a parameter. When user submit this form data will come to our method as a parameter. That form binding object data we are copying into entity object. We are copying that into entity object. Then we need to set the password for the user. Password is not coming from the UI. So we are setting the password by using set password method. Generate password is separate private method is created, which will generate the random password with the 6 characters. Generate the random password with the 6 characters. So that we are setting here. By default, account will be in the locked status and by default, account will be in the active status. Okay, account is locked, but it is active. So when user unlock the account, then this will be unlocked. Password will be updated. Account switch I'm setting as Y. I'm inserting the record in the table by using save method. Once the record is inserted in the database, then we are going to send the email for the user saying that your account is created successfully. Please unlock your account. So that is the logic which we are going to write in the send email method to send the email for the user. We have already seen in the mini project how to send the email for the user. To send the email for the user, we are going to use one class called Java Mail Sender. Java Mail Sender will be available. We are going to auto wire the mail sender. So here we need to write the logic to send the email. We can write that logic later point of time. Are you guys clear with this method? Guys, are you clear with this method, which is used to create the user account? Take the form data, set the password, set the status, insert the record, and send the email. Are you guys clear with this method, how to insert a record into the table? So there is nothing new. Already we implemented this concept in our mini project. In one of the mini project, user account creation, user email sending, unlock account, same thing I'm repeating once again. There is nothing new. There is nothing new here. Okay. Password encryption we can do later point of time. First I'm inserting the record into the table. Later we will see how to encrypt that password. Already we implemented this in the mini project. In the second mini project, we have done this process. User registration, forgot password, unlock account, all these things we have already done that. So this method is used to create the user account. Okay. Perfect. Next one, fetch user accounts. Whatever the user accounts are available, we need to fetch the user accounts and we need to display here, right? So it is just retrieving the data from the table. I need to retrieve all the records available in the table. So for that, we are going to call a method called user repository dot find all method. User repository dot find all method. What is the meaning of this find all method? This find all method is going to return list of entities. This find all method is going to give list of entities. So what are our entity objects available? User entity is one object. Okay. It is going to give list of user entities. It's going to give list of user entities. So all the records which are inserted in the database, we are going to get user repository dot find all list of entities we are going to get from the database. List of entities we are getting from the database. We can call it as user entities. I'm getting the list of entities from the table, but what my method should return? My method should return list of binding objects. I need to convert these entities into our binding object. Okay. So for that, let us take list of user account form. I'm going to take list of user account form. List of user account form, and 1 minute, I think there is a mistake in the interface. So here user account class name is not correct. Yes, fine. Now here list of user accounts I'm going to get. Now I'm taking this as users is equal to new array list. Right? Now let me go for each loop. User entities are available, right? User colon user entities. So I want to take each user entity object. I want to take each user entity object from the user entities we are having. Then bean utils dot copy properties of user entity. Each user entity object I need to copy into user form binding. Okay. So this is one user is equal to new user. From the entity, I'm taking the user data. Then I will add users dot add. Whatever the entities we are getting, we are converting the entities into binding object, and we are going to add that object for the collection. We are going to add that object for the collection. Got it. So if you observe, I am calling find all method. Here I'm calling find all method. What is the meaning of this find all method? It is going to retrieve all the user records which are available in the database. It is going to give me list of entities. But what my method should return? List of bindings. So I'm creating one binding collection. From the list of entities, I'm taking the each entity. Each entity I am converting into one binding object, and I am adding that binding object to my collection. So finally, we are going to return one collection. Finally, we are going to return one collection. That means it will contain the list of users. Those list of users can be displayed in the table. So whenever you click on view accounts, then this method is responsible. This method is responsible to get the user records from the database and send it to the UI. Are you clear with my point? What is this fetch user accounts method? Retrieving all the records from the table, convert each entity into one binding object and store into collection of bindings. The collection of bindings we are returning from our method. So that is used for view accounts. That is used for view accounts. So one method is used to create the user account. Another method is used to display the users which we have inside. Are you guys clear with this? Yes, there is nothing new, sir. So to be frank, it is waste of your time and my time because already we developed this project. But again, you people asked me to develop everything, so I'm doing this. This method is used to create the account. This method is used to retrieve the accounts and display. Then get user account by user ID. What is the purpose of this method? When user click on edit option, we need to retrieve the record and we need to display in the editable mode. So for that, based on the user ID, we need to get the user account. Okay. So how to get that user record based on the user ID? User repo dot find by ID. So I'm going to pass account ID primary key as a parameter. Then it is going to return what is the return type of the find by ID method? Find by ID method is going to return optional object. Find by ID method is going to return optional of user entity. So with the given ID, record may available, may not available. So with the given ID, record may available or record may not available. So I'm going to check if optional dot is present. If optional dot is present, if the record is really available, then I want to return optional dot get. Okay, whatever the optional object we are getting, so in that optional object really the record is available or not, we are going to check by using optional dot is present. If it is present, then what will happen? Optional dot get. It is going to give you one user entity object. It is going to give you one user entity object. When you go for the view accounts page, when you go to view accounts page, there is an option called edit. What is the meaning of edit? That record we need to get into the editable mode. So I'm getting the account ID. Based on the account ID, I am getting the record. Find by ID. Find by ID will give you optional object. In that optional object, record may available, may not available. If the record is available, then get that record. Then I need to return that record. How to return that record? User account form object we need is equal to new user account form. Now bean utils dot copy properties from user entity to user account object. Then finally I am going to return user object. So with the given ID, if the record is available, I will retrieve the record based on the ID and I will convert the data into my binding object and I will return the binding object. That means one user record we are returning to the UI so that that record can be displayed in the editable mode. So whenever you click on view accounts, that record will come to the editable mode. For this, we have this method. Get user account by ID. Based on the user ID, retrieve the record. It will give the optional object. In that optional, if the record is available, convert that into binding object and return that binding object. With the given ID, if the record is not available, we will return the null value. Point guys, get user account by ID. We are able to get the record based on the ID. Now here, I want to change account status. So here, whatever the status we are getting, I want to update the status in the database. Account ID is available. In this scenario, you can do this account status implementation. That means activating the account or deactivating the account. If the account is already active, we need to deactivate. If the account is already deactive, we need to activate. This one we can do in two ways. What are the two ways to implement this one? Right? One is existing record you can fetch. Right? Existing record you can fetch from the database based on the ID. Then you need to update the record. Two queries we need to execute. Instead of that, I will go with custom query. I will write a custom query in order to update the account status. Go to repository. Let me write a method public. I want to do the update. Okay. Public integer update account status. So what is the account status? Account ID and string status. I want to update. How to execute a custom query? By using @query annotation. So how to execute it? Update a custom query, right? So I want to write a custom query. Update user entity, set what is the status of the variable we have given? Account status. So here go to this, set account status is equal to whatever the status we are giving, where account ID. What is the account ID? That means basically user ID. We cannot say that account ID, it is a user ID. Where user ID, the variable is equal to given value, that is user ID. So whatever the user record we are getting, that for that user record, I want to update the status. So you can do that in two ways as I discussed. You can get the existing record from the table. You can get existing record from the table and you can update that again. Instead of that, I'm directly writing a custom query. Whatever the user ID we have, whatever the status you want, directly I'm updating by using custom query. Now you can call this method update account status, right? User repo dot update account status. So what is which account? Based on the given user ID, based on the given status, we are going to update. In the repository method, user ID first parameter, status is the second parameter. So this method is going to return the count, how many records got affected. Okay, it is going to give int count. So now, if count is greater than 0, then I'm going to say the record is updated successfully. If count greater than 0, then I will say return status changed. I can say status change, else status failed to change. So like this, we can write the logic which is used to update the user account. Whether you want to activate the user account or you want to deactivate the user account, you can do by using account status. Whether you want to activate the account or you want to deactivate the account, you can do that by using this method. When you click on activate button, it will be deactivated. When you click on deactivate button, when you click on this button, it will be activated. When you click on green color button, it will be activated. When you click on the red color button, it will be deactivated. So whatever the account user ID we are getting, whatever the status we are getting, with that we are calling the custom query method. What is there in this method? Directly I'm going to update the record. I don't want to retrieve again and I don't want to execute two queries. With a single query, I want to update that record. Guys, able to understand? Able to understand how to update the record? I mean to say activate or deactivate the record. Yes. All right. Now, similarly, we are having plan service, guys. I am not going to implement the plan service because already we implemented account service. In the same way, you need to implement the plan service. Create the plan, fetch the plans, get the plan ID, and change the plan status. Whatever the logic I have written in the account service implementation, same thing you need to do in the plan service. Can you do the plan service implementation on your own? Or you want me to implement that also? These are the service layer methods for account service. Account service IMPL I have done. Do you want me to implement plan service or you will do it on your own? You have to do this on your own. Implementer. Digambar, what is this, man? How to insert the record, update the record, delete the record. These things already we done in the mini project and we have done in the one screen. So whatever the functionality is there in the create account, view accounts, same thing will be there in the create plan and view plans. I want you people to try this. Okay. I have implemented for account service. I want you to implement for the plan service. Got it? Good. Now, here there is a one more method called unlock user account. We need to unlock the user. Unlock form data will come. From this unlock form data, I need to get the user record. User repo dot find by email. So I need to unlock the user record. To unlock the user record, I need to retrieve the user record based on the email ID. I will get the email ID. I will write one method, public user entity, find by email. Find by email. I'm going to take string email. So this is a find by method. No need to write the custom query. Now, I want to unlock the user account. For this, I'm going to get the user record, find by email. In the unlock account form, I will be getting the email. So here, unlock form dot get email. Email will be available. Based on the email, I'm going to get the user entity. I'm going to get the user entity. So for this user entity, I need to set the latest data. I need to set the latest data. Entity dot set a password. So what is the password? The password will come from get a new password. Whatever the new password is coming, we need to get that. Entity dot set account status. I'm going to set the status as unlock. Then I'm going to call user repo dot save of entity. So this is going to unlock our record. Okay. So when user click on the unlock account, the form data will come. That mail ID will be available. Based on the mail ID, I want to retrieve the record. So for this, I'm writing one custom find by method. So using that find by method, I'm retrieving the user entity. For that entity, I'm setting the new password. I'm setting the status as unlock. I'm calling the save method. As it is already having the ID, it is going to update only these two columns data in the table. It will change the old password to new password. It will change the account status from locked to unlock. It is going to update. Then I'm going to return account unlock. All these things we need to get from the properties files, guys. Currently, I'm hard coding. Later, we need to change this to property file. So this is the method which is used to unlock the user account. We already implemented this also in the second project. Got it? Are you good with this? So with this, testing we will do at the end, guys. First, let me write the code. Testing we will do, logging we will implement, exceptions we will implement, everything we will do. It will take time. Developing the project is not easy. So a lot of things we need to consider. First, let me implement the core business logic. Then we can go for testing, logging, and exception handling and security. Okay. Good. Now, so I have implemented service layer. One method is create user account. Another method is fetch user accounts. Another method get user account by ID. Another method change account status. Then unlock user account method I have implemented, generate password. Plan service IMPL I'm not implementing. I'm leaving that for you. I want you people to implement the logic for plan service. Then go to user service, guys. So here we are having basically three methods here. One is login method, recover password method, fetch dashboard method, fetch dashboard data. So in the user service, we need to implement three methods. Login method, login form data we are getting. So we need to write one method in the user repository to verify the given record is valid or not. Okay, first let me inject the user repository. Private user repository with the user rep @ auto wiring. I want to inject the repository object into my service object. Okay, user repository object I have injected. Then let me write one custom method here. I want to retrieve the record to verify whenever user click on login button. Whenever user click on login button to verify the given credentials are valid or not, I need to write one method. So how to write this method? Public user entity find by email and password. With the given email ID and password, are we able to retrieve the record? So I'm writing a method, public user entity find by email ID and password. With the given email ID and password, I'm trying to retrieve the record. Call that method user repo dot find by email ID and password. Email ID and password we are getting from the login form dot get email and login form dot get a password. Okay. So the reason is here, I think Lombok is not working. That is the reason I'm getting this issue. Let me generate setters and getters. Generate setters and getters for both variables. Okay. Similarly, in the user service IMPL, right, login form dot get email ID. It's not username, guys. So I will take this as email field. The variable name is email. Because from the login form, we are getting email ID to verify the credentials are valid or not. Generate, getter and set. Okay. So get email and get password. Perfect. I think same thing in the previous also. User account form. The Lombok is not working. Let me add the setters getters for this. Okay. Similarly for unlock account also. Generate setters and getters. Okay. List is implemented, injected. Right. Why this here is error? Account service IMPL. There are some errors. Let me check it. Which user accounts? User service IMPL. Account service IMPL. Yes, I'm trying to fix this. Create user account form. In the interface, okay, here the variable name is incorrect. Perfect. Account service IMPL. Random.next. Import the random package. Yeah. So in the account service, the issues got fixed. Go to plan service IMPL. There are some compilation issues. Import the package. Import this package. Plan form. Here also remove this and add the getters and setters. Plan service IMPL, what is the error? There are some compilation issues. I'm trying to fix those things. List plan form. Why it is not thing? Fetch plans. Plan form. What is the problem? In the plan service, list plan form. That's it. No? Okay. So plan service issues resolved. Go for user service IMPL. Here there is a issue. Get email. Yeah. Now all the compilation issues got resolved. So I have a login method, recover password method, and a dashboard method. So what is the login functionality here? When user, which ID is more easy, STS or IntelliJ? Which one you are more comfortable? STS IDE or IntelliJ? STS is very easy than IntelliJ. Even I am feeling STS is easy. It is little confusing, guys. Even first time I am using this IntelliJ, I'm feeling little confusing with this and challenging. STS is very easy. Shortcuts are so simple in the STS. From tomorrow, I will switch to STS, guys. It is taking a lot of time here. It's wasting out. It is wasting our time. I will switch to STS tomorrow because even the errors are not displaying clearly. The shortcuts are different and we are habituated to STS. Yeah. So login method is available. So let us try to implement this login functionality. As we discussed, here they can log in with the credentials. Here credentials may be incorrect or account may be locked. So for that reason, I'm going for find by email ID and password. I'm giving the email ID and password. It is going to return one entity object. One entity object it is going to return. Suppose if an entity is null, then no need to do anything. Credentials are incorrect. If entity is equal to null, then return invalid credentials message. Okay. If entity is null, then the remaining logic is not going to execute. It is going to return the credentials are invalid. If entity is not equal to null, then I'm going to get entity dot get account status. Account status, right? It is best practice. Always compare here. If account status is unlocked, dot equals right side comparison, left side comparison. We discussed null pointer exception can come if you don't do this properly. If account status is unlocked, then that's okay. If account status is not unlocked, then else. Then what we are going to do? If account status is not equals to unlock, then we are going to return a message account lock. We are going to return a message called account lock. We are going to fetch the user record based on the email ID and password. With that, we are getting one entity object. If entity is null, that means credentials are invalid. Once entity is not null, then it will go to the next code. here I'm checking what is the status of the account. Already credentials available. What is the status? So if the status is unlocked, then okay, they can log in. Login success. Return. I will return a message as login success. Or I can say simple success. Because we need to load the dashboard page if it is a success. Okay, fine. Else, I'm going to, if this condition is not satisfied, then it will return the account log. Anything is going to execute. So if the account credentials are invalid, this code will return the invalid credential message. If credentials are valid, here we are going to check the status of the account. Is it unlocked or locked? If it is unlocked, then return success. If it is locked, then we are going to return account lock. So this is the logic we are going to use for unlocked and locked state and the credentials valid checking. This is the login functionality. Are you guys able to understand? Are you guys able to understand what is login functionality? And there is another condition also we need to check, guys. Initially, when the account is created, it will be locked. After that, admin can inactivate the account. Na? Admin can deactivate the account, right? One more condition we need to check. Initially, when the new account is created, it will be in the locked status. When they change the password, it will be unlocked. But after some time, admin can come, admin can deactivate the account. Admin can deactivate the account. One more condition we need to check. So what is that condition? If account status, I need to check one more condition. If active switch should be Y. If Y dot equals entity dot get account switch, active switch will be available. Active switch should be Y. Active switch should be Y. If active switch is Y, then only account should be unlocked and account active switch should be Y. If Y dot equals to account dot get active switch, and if the account is unlocked, then only we are going for success. Okay. Then only we will go for success. Two conditions we need to check here. One is the account should be active and account should be unlocked. Then only we are going to allow the user to log in. Getting my point? Why I'm checking two conditions. First time when the user account is created, it will be in the locked status. We need to check is it unlocked or not. And the second one, always account should be active. Sometimes admin can deactivate the account. When they have deactivated, that case worker should not be able to log in into the application. So for that, I'm going for equals entity.get accounts, which should be Y, and unlocked status should be there. Then only login success. Otherwise, this account is locked or inactive. Simply, I can say your account is locked or your account is inactive. That error message we are going to display. Are you able to understand the two conditions we are checking for login page? Able to understand the two conditions we are checking for the login page? Yes. So we are retrieving the record based on the given credentials. We are trying to retrieving the user record based on the given credentials by using a find by method. With the given email ID and password, I want to retrieve the record. With the given email ID and password, if I'm able to get the record, then okay, I will execute this logic. With the given credentials, if I don't get the record, then I will say that credentials are wrong. With your data, there is no record available. If record is available, then I will go for this logic. Account should be active, account should be unlocked, then only they can log in. Otherwise, it will give the error message. Good. Then go for recover password. This is very simple method. Here we need to retrieve the record based on the given email ID. User repo dot find by email. Already we have a find by method for that, which is going to give the user record, user entity. User entity I am getting here. Now, if that user entity is null, if null is equal to user entity, then what I am going to do? Simply I am going to return false value. That means when you want to recover that password, when you go for recover password, click on logout. When you click on forgot password, enter your email ID, click on recover password. When you enter that mail ID, it will try to retrieve the record based on the given mail ID. With the given mail ID, if the record is available, then okay. If the record is not available, return false value. Else, I'm going to get the password from the database. Now, that password I'm going to send to the user in the body. String subject will be available. We will take it from the properties file. String body will be available, and I'm going to send the email. To send the email, we are going to use private email utils. Okay, so I'm going for email utils. Let us go for auto wiring. All right, go for email utils. Now go for email utils. Email utils dot send email. So what is the subject for this? What is the body for this? What is the user email we have received? We are going to return that. Then I'm going to return true. Return true. That means whatever I'm getting from this method, I'm going to return the same. If the given mail ID is correct, we are going to retrieve the user record with the given mail ID. So with the given mail ID, we'll retrieve the user record. In the database already password is available. That password we are going to send to the user in the body. Okay. So email utils method will return true or false value. True means email is sent successfully. False means email is not sent successfully. Return false means here with the given mail ID, the record is not available. With the given mail ID, the record is not available. So this is our recover password method. Get the user record based on the email ID. So here user will enter the mail, click on recover password. That mail ID we will get. With that, we will try to retrieve the user record. With that mail, if the record is not available, that means invalid email ID, return false value. Suppose if this condition not satisfied, that means record is available. We are already retrieving the record from the table. That password we will send to the user in the body. So this is recover password method. You got it? This is recover password method. Even if they recovered the password, if their account is inactive, can they log in? Even if they recover the password, if their account is inactive or if their account is locked, can they log in here? No, they cannot log in here. Got it? Now, so here we are able to implement login method, which contains the logic to check when to allow the user to log in into our application, when we should not allow the user to log in into our application. Here recover password method is available. Based on the given mail ID, we are recovering the password. We are sending the password to their registered email. Now fetch the dashboard info. Guys, see here, little thinking is required. Once you log in into your application, login is successful, dashboard data we need to get. So from where this dashboard data, plan table will contain the number of plans. Citizens approved will be available in the eligibility table. Citizens denied will be available in the eligibility table. Benefits given is available in the eligibility table. So first card data will come from the plans table. The remaining 3 cards data we will get from the eligibility table. That data we need to send for the dashboard page. Okay, fetch the dashboard information. So to fetch the dashboard information, first we need to get plans entity. Private plan repo is available now. How many plans are available in our database? We need to get that count at the rate AutoWire. Plan repo count we need to get it. Okay, plan repo dot Plan repo is a normal interface now. Let me make it as a JPA repository. Extends from JPA repository. Okay, so it is going to use plan entity. Primary key is the integer. Now here plan repo we have injected. Go to the plan repo dot count method. It will tell you how many plans are available in our system. It will tell you how many plans are available in system. Plans count. Okay, that plan count we need to set for our dashboard data. Now here I'm going to create one object called dashboard card. Card is equal to new dashboard card. Card dot set. For this dashboard card, Lombok is not working. Let us generate setters and getters. Let us go for generate setters and getters. Select all the variables, click on OK. Now go to IMPL, set plans count. Okay, plans count we already get it. Now set plans count. Everything is an integer, but here integer plan count long we are getting. Okay, let me make it as a long variables. Plan count, approved count, denied count, benefit amount is a double value. Fine. Now set plans count. I'm setting the plans count for this dashboard method. Why there is an error? Huh? Okay, the getters and setters are not changed. Yes. So now I'm setting the plan count. Similarly, we need to get the data from the eligibility table, card dot set, how many citizens are approved. Okay. So in the eligibility, we will get that information. Card dot set denied count, card dot set benefit amount given. That information we are going to get from eligibility table. I have not created that eligibility table entity class as of now. Once I create that eligibility table, then we will go and change this method. So once it is done, we are going to return that card object. Okay. So what will be there in this card? This card will represent what will be there in this card. This card will represent the data that we need to send for dashboard display. Once user logged in into our application successfully, dashboard will be displayed. In the dashboard, we need to display the data. The data should come from the backend. What cards, what information required for the card? How many plans available in our application? How many citizens approved? How many citizens denied? What is the benefit amount we have given? All that information we are going to get from the back. Currently, plan table entity is ready. Plan repository is ready. So that's why I'm able to get the data for the plans and I'm setting that data. So this eligibility information is not ready. Eligibility entity I have not created yet. Eligibility repository we have to create. Once eligibility entity and eligibility repository is created, then we can get that information. Here, I need to create one more entity called new Java class entity. I need to create one more entity called entity. Okay, so this one we need to represent as an entity class. @entity @table. I'm going to map that with the details. Eligibility details will be available. And for this eligibility, we need to create one repository. As we are going to communicate with the database, eligibility repository is required. Repo, new interface. I need to create a new interface, that is repo. Eligibility details repository. So this one we are going to extend from JPA repository. So this will be using entity and primary key will be integer. So this eligibility entity we need to inject in the user service because we need to get the data for the dashboard. Okay. So let me go for private repo. Let us go for auto wiring. Now, so EligiRepo data we need to get. How to get it? EligiRepo dot find all the records. We are going to get list of records available in the eligibility, list, entity list we are going to get. In this list, how many records are approved, how to get that count, how many records are denied, how to get that count, how much benefit amount we have given, how to get that count. So list dot stream, okay, list dot stream. By using stream API, we can find out that list dot stream dot filter dot list dot stream dot filter. In the filter method, we are going to pass each eligibility object, each ED record we are going to pass ED dot get. What is that? Eligibility. So here we need to write eligibility status. There will be a one variable called plan status. Okay, plan status will be available. Either it is approved or denied. Now go to ed dot get eligibility setters getters required for this. No? Just I have taken one variable for time being. Ed dot get plan status dot equals to approve. Okay, dot count. So this is going to give you how many records are approved. Okay, so it will give you long approved count. Long approved count that I am going to set here. Similarly, I want to get the citizens, how many are denied. How to get it? Long denied count is equal to list dot stream dot filter of ed dot plan status dot equals to denied. I want to get the denied count. Okay, by using filters in the stream API, I'm getting the approved count, I'm getting the denied count. Let me set this denied count here. I'm setting the denied count. What about the benefits amount given? How to get the benefit amount? List dot stream dot collect. I want to get the sum of the benefit amounts we have given. Guys, is there any method available to find the sum? Is there any method available to find the sum of all the benefit amounts we have given in the stream API? Eligibility dot stream dot collect ed of ed dot. Do we have any method to collect sum of all the records? Stream dot reduce, eligibility entity reduce operation. 1 minute. Let me get this. Find sum of EMP salary in stream API. How to get the sum of that? How to calculate employee salaries in the summing int? There is a method called summing int method is available. So let me go for this, or else return the sum directly. Collectors dot employees dot stream dot collect collectors dot summing int stream of collectors dot summing. Let me check correct method. Stream dot collect map to double summary statistics dot store strings. Stream dot map to double. Okay, directly method is available. Stream dot map to double. So I'm going to pass ed object ed dot get benefit amount will be available. So how much benefit amount is available? That benefit amounts we have given as of now in our system all those amounts we are going to get. Go to that eligibility entity. Here, benefit amount variable will be available. Private double benefit amount. How much benefit amount we are giving for the citizens? The total benefit amount I want to capture. So here, instead of we are calculating the total amount, directly I am using my Java 8 method. Eligibility list.stream map to double, whatever the benefit amount we have, I want to get the sum of the benefit amount directly. Okay, it will give me double benefit amount, total benefit amount we have given so far. There is a issue, double stream dot get dot map to double get benefit amount, required type double, provided double stream. So, double stream we got. From this double stream, we need to get the data. Double stream dot, I want to get the double value. Summary statistics dot toString get benefit amount dot sum. The summary statistics dot get sum. What this method is going to return? Double summary statistics, not this one. Get benefit amount dot sum. Yeah. Double, I'm getting total. So whatever the total amount we have given to the citizens, we are going to set that total amount and we are going to return dashboard card up. So here we are setting required data, which should be displayed in the dashboard. What data we need to display in the dashboard? Total plans available, total citizens approved, total citizens denied, total benefit amount we have given. That information we need to send for the dashboard. So that information we need to fetch from the database. So total plans available in the system I'm getting from the plan repository, and total eligibility records available I'm getting. From that I'm getting the approved records and I'm getting the denied records and I'm getting the total benefit amount we have given. And I'm setting all these 4 values: plan count, approved citizens count, denied citizen count, benefit amount given to the dashboard card object. That dashboard card object I'm returning from this method. Okay, fetch dashboard information. This information required for the cards I'm getting from the database. So 3 methods available in the user service. One is login method. Second one is recover password method. Third one is fetch dashboard method. Are you clear? Look at this method once again, what I have implemented for dashboard data. Fetch dashboard data. Guys, are you clear with this? Fetching the data required for the dashboard. Here we need to write the variables which are required for our entity. Private, integer, edge trace ID, that is a primary key, @ID, generated value, strategy is equal to identity generator, right? We need to represent the case number and all. This entity class we are going to finish. This is our entity class for eligibility details, right? Eligibility entity details class, eligibility repository is available, dashboard plan repository. So with this basic, the logic completed for service IMPL, account service IMPL, user service IMPL, plan service IMPL. I want you people to implement this method. Okay. So once it is done, now to handle the request and response, we need to create REST controllers. Okay. So as we discussed, there are 3 REST controllers available. So we need to write the methods in the REST controllers to handle the request and response. Whenever create account is clicked, this data will come. So here we need to create methods to handle the request. Let us inject private account service here. Private account service. So we will go for auto wiring. So in this account service, we should write the several methods, right? So first one, public response entity. Response entity. What is the response that you want to send here? Create account. Create account. So user account form data we will get. User account form data we will get. How we will get that form data? That form data we will get by using request body annotation. As this method is used for creating the record, we will map it for post map. Okay, user creation using post map. So what this method will do? Simply it is going to call account service dot create user account by passing user account object. By passing user account object. So this method is going to return true or false value, Boolean status. If true means record is created, if false means record is not created. If status is true, that means record is created, else record is not created. So we need to send that response by using response entity object. Okay. So how we are going to send that? Return new response entity message. So here successful. If status is true, I'm going to say account created with the HTTP status dot created. That means the user record is created. I'm giving the status as created. If the account is not created, creation failed. Account not created. Account creation failed. Account creation failed. I'm going to say that internal server error. I got some problem. Like this, I'm going to represent by using response entity. What is the response body you want to send and what is the status code you want to send? This method is used to create the user account creation, right? By using create user account method, it will return true or false value. If account is created, it will return true. Then I will return the success message with the status code as 201. If account is not created, I will send the error message with the status code as 500. So created means 201, internal server error means 500. Here I will send 201 as the status code. Here I will send 500 as the status code. 201 means record is created. 500 means record is failed to create. So this is one method which is used to create the user account. The next one, view accounts is available. For this, we need to write one method in the REST controller, public response entity user account form. So user account form is available. Get users. Okay, get users. No need of any request. Directly we need to get the users. Let me map it for get mapping /users. So simply we are going to get the user records. Account service dot fetch user accounts. So it is going to return all the data, right? Whatever the user records available, we are going to get all those user records, user account forms. So how to return the user account forms? Return new response entity, user account forms, comma, HTTP status dot OK. That means it is a successful. HTTP account status dot OK. We are going to give HTTP account status, HTTP status dot OK. Where is this OK? HTTP status dot OK. Yeah. HTTP status dot OK. I want to return the response entity with the user account forms, list of user account forms. Multiple user records will be available. So multiple user records we are going to send as a list of user accounts. This is the method for get users. So it is retrieving existing user records from the database. So we are getting list of user records. I'm returning the list of user records in the JSON format for the UI. Then we need to click on the edit that will accept the user ID and it is going to retrieve the user record. Public, one user record I need to return. Public response entity of user account form. One user record I want to edit. So get user. For this, I'm going to take user ID. So how we will get the user ID? User ID we will get as a path variable. User ID we will get as a path variable. Let us map this method to a get request. At the rate get mapping /user ID. Now I need to return this user record back to the UI. When you click on the edit, that user record should go to the UI. So we have already method account service dot get user record based on the user ID. So it is going to return a user record for us. It is going to return a user record for us. That user record we need to return in the form of response entity. Return new response entity user account by ID, then HTTP status dot OK. That user record we are sending back to the UI. UI application will display the user record in the editable mode. Got it? So here one method is used to create the user, one method is used to retrieve the users, one method is used to get the user. Okay. Then one method is used to change the user status. Change the user status. So that is for updating the user. Now public response entity, we need to provide updated user records. Okay. When the user record is updated, activate the account or deactivate the account. So to do this, activating and deactivating, again, we are going to return list of user accounts. We are going to update the record and we will provide the latest records. Okay. So update user account. So the updating the user account will happen based on the user ID and status. We will get the user ID, which user record we want to update and what is the status we want to update. I will get user ID and I will get the status also. This user ID and status we are going to get as a path variable. So two path variables will come. One is user ID and another one is what is the status you want to update. Do you want to activate or you want to deactivate? So for that we already have a method account service dot change account status. So user ID we will get as a first parameter, status we will get as a second parameter. User ID and status we are getting. So it is going to return string success. Whether the record is updated or not, that success message will come. Once we got the success, we need to return the existing records back to the user. That means we need to return the latest records after updating. So let me go for this as a put mapping. It is used for updating the user, right? /user, then we will go for /user ID, comma, /status. I'm going to update the user record. So to retrieve the records, we will use get mapping. To insert the records, we will use post mapping. To update the records, we will use put mapping. Okay. So path variable, user ID, status. When you click on this icon for particular record, that user record I need to update and I need to reload the table. So that's why I'm writing a method with the put mapping. It will take user ID as a path variable, status as a path variable. So change the account status, then fetch the latest records, return the latest records from the table. Look at this method. So in the account REST controller, I have injected account service. One method is used to create the account. So when you go for create account, when you submit this form data will go to the post request in the request body, inserting the record in the table. When you click on view accounts, existing records will come to the table. This method get mapping with the users. All the user records we are going to retrieve. This method get mapping user with user ID. So whenever you click on edit, that record should come in the editable mode. Then after, whenever you want to update the record. So if you click on this icon, edit or activate or deactivate, that method will deal with the put mapping. Put mapping is used for activate the account or deactivate the account. What is the status you will send in the path variable? If you send Y, it will be activated. If you send no, it will be deactivated. After activating the account and deactivating the account, it is going to give you the latest records available in the table. So total there are 4 methods available in the REST controller. Total there are 4 methods available in the REST controller. One method is used to create the account. One method is used to retrieve the existing accounts. One method is used to edit the account. One method is used to change the account status. So in the same way, I want you people to write the logic for plan REST controller. Here also create the plan, retrieve the plans, edit the plan, and activate the deactivate the plan. How I am writing account REST controller, in the same way, I want you to write the plan REST controller. Can you guys do this? I am implementing account functionality. I want you to implement a plan functionality, guys. So whatever the methods we have written in the account service, same methods we need to write in the plan service. Whatever the methods we are writing in the account controller, same methods we need to do in the plan controller. Same methods you need to do in the plan controller. You got my point? So once again, I'm repeating, I'm giving the source code, but if you copy paste, there is no benefit. If you copy paste, there is no benefit you are going to get. If you try this code on your own, then only you will understand how to write the logic. So account REST controller is ready. Account REST controller is ready with the methods. Plan REST controller you need to do. Now similarly, go for user REST controller. So what we need to do in the user REST controller, what is the meaning of user REST controller? Login functionality, forgot password functionality, and dashboard functionality will be available. So shall I continue or stop for today? I have another half an hour time. Can I continue? Yeah, so let me write the REST controller methods for the user, then we will stop. Just 5 minutes, guys. User REST controller. What is the purpose of this user REST controller? User REST controller will deal with the login functionality, forgot password functionality, dashboard functionality, and profile functionality. Okay, so total, how many methods are required for user REST controller? One method required for the login. Let us write this. First, let me inject user service. Private user service. I'm injecting user service. For this, I'm using auto wiring. Auto wiring. I need to write one method called login. Login form data will come. So let me write public. Here we should be very careful what we need to do with the login method. Okay. So now when you go for this login method, first let me take method return type as void. We will change it later. Public void login. We are going to get login form. We are going to get the login form. So what I am doing in the login form data. Login form data will come as a request body. Login form data we will get as a request body. Login is a post request method. Let us map it to the post mapping. because form data is coming in the request, right? So I'm going to take it as a login form. User service, let us go for user service dot login. Let us pass login form object. Whatever the login form object we are getting in the request, we are passing that to this method. Control Alt V to get the return type of. In the STS control 1, here Control Alt V to get the return. User service dot login, login form data I am passing, it is returning the login status. Here, if status dot equals, that means login success. Login success, else login failure. If you go to this method, what we are doing in this method, guys, if you go to user service IMPL class, if login credentials are valid, what I am returning? I am returning as a success. I'm returning this as a success. So if it is a success, I need to say something. I need to display the dashboard. If status dot equals to success. If it is failure, then I need to return error response. Okay. If it is failure, whatever the response we are getting from the service IMPL, same thing I am going to return. If login is a success, then only I need to send the dashboard data. If login is a success, I need to send the dashboard data. If login is failure, as it is error message, I have to send. Okay. Now here, I'm going to take string as a response. I'm going to take the string as a response, guys. Getting my point? Now, if it is failure, I will return status whatever I am getting. I'm going to return the status whatever I'm getting. If it is a success, then I am going to redirect my request. If it is success, I'm going to redirect my request to the dashboard method. Observe carefully how I am implementing login functionality. So what I need to do is, user will enter the email ID and password, click on login. Suppose the given credentials are invalid, then error message will come. That error message I will return as it is. Suppose given credentials are valid, then this condition is not satisfied. That means credentials are valid, this condition satisfied, this condition also satisfied. Then I'm going to return success. When I return success, what I need to do? I will redirect my request to the dashboard page. What is the responsibility of the dashboard page? Load the content required for the dashboard. Load the content required for the dashboard. So I'm going to write another method here, public response entity with a dashboard card data. Dashboard, build dashboard. This is my method. Build dashboard. It is going to build the dashboard with the cards. So this method I am mapping to here a get mapping /dashboard. Okay, /dashboard. What it will do? User service dot fetch dashboard information. So whatever the information required for the dashboard building, we are getting from this method. Service method is already available. Return new response entity with a dashboard card, comma, HTTP status dot OK. HTTP status dot OK. So that means I'm getting my dashboard data. When this method will be called, guys? If login is a success, if all the conditions are satisfied, if this method is returning a success, then only the request will be redirected to dashboard method. What the dashboard method will do? Dashboard method will fetch the data. Dashboard method will fetch the data and it is going to return the response in the form of dashboard card of JSON. Are you guys clear with this? Right. And here, and one more important thing we need to observe. When user is trying to log in, observe carefully, user is trying to log in. Credentials he will give. Credentials may be valid or credentials may be invalid. Credentials may be valid, credentials may be invalid. Observe carefully. If whenever the request come to the login page. We are getting the email ID and password. With that, we are calling login method. It will verify credentials are valid or not. If credentials are invalid, then directly this condition will satisfy. It will return invalid credentials as a response. Suppose this condition not satisfied. These conditions are not satisfied. Account is logged or inactive. That will go as a response. For example, credentials are valid. All the conditions are satisfied. It will return success. When this method returns success, I'm going to redirect. I'm going to redirect to the dashboard page. When I redirect it to the dashboard page, what is happening? It will this method will redirect the request to this method. What this method will do? This method will get the dashboard data and it is going to return the dashboard data. Here already we have a method to fetch the data for the dashboard. But there is a problem. When we are returning the dashboard data, we need to identify whether caseworker logged in into the application or admin logged in into the application. Are we maintaining that data when user logged in successfully? When user logged in successfully, anywhere, are we maintaining that data? Whether this is a admin login or whether it is a caseworker login, we are just telling that login is success. But is it a admin login or is it a caseworker login? Are we maintaining that information here? You will click on the login button. Your credentials are valid. You will go to the dashboard. But who logged in? Admin logged in or caseworker logged in? Do we have that information in our logic? Guys, do we have that information in our logic? No. We don't have that information now. How to determine who logged in successfully? How to determine who logged in successfully into our application? Where I need to change my logic now? Guys, where I need to change my logic now? To determine whether it is a admin login or user login, caseworker login. How to change that? How to change it? Come on guys, how to change it? This login method should be changed. This login method should be changed. Okay. Here we have which user is logged in. Here which user is logged in. Observe, when it is a success, I will set some data like this. At the rate, role is equal to some value entity dot get role. Entity dot get role ID. So along with the success text, I'm telling which role is logged in. Go to user entity. In the user entity, we will be having a column for role ID, right? We are going to maintain what is the role ID of the user, which user is logged in. Private integer role ID. We are going to insert user role in our table. We are going to insert role ID in our table. Whenever I am doing login success, for the success string, success means login success. Who logged in? I will return the role by using some delimiter. I'm keeping success at the rate role is equal to role ID. Guys, observe here, lot of logical thinking is required. User is logged in, user credentials are valid, user account is active, user account is unlocked, user is logged in. I'm returning success. I'm returning success. Who is logged in successfully? Success at the rate role is equal to role ID. With this, can you identify which user is logged in? Does that user is a caseworker or that user is a admin? Can we identify with this string whether that user is a admin or whether that user is a caseworker? And this is also not sufficient, guys, because which user is logged in, that information also we have to maintain. This user, this success message also not sufficient. We need to change this login method, because After that, logged in successful. When you go for view applications, if it is a case worker, which case worker created that application, we need to check that now. View applications, I think there is some issue with this, does not exist. The bucket is, I think, not available. Now, which case worker logged in? That case worker information also we need to fetch here. Which case worker is logged in? That case worker information also we have to fetch here. Okay. So here, our login method, whatever we have written, that is not sufficient to develop our application requirement. We need to change this login method. We need to change this login method. Are you guys getting my point? So what is the change we need for the login method? What is the change we need for the login method? Instead of taking string as a return type, we need to take something else as a return. Are you getting my point? If I take string as a return type, can you understand? Can we implement that logic? If we take string as a return type, can we implement the logic? No. We need to make a change for that. So tomorrow we will see how to change that login method. So there is a problem in our code. Login method is not correct here. With this syntax, we can't implement our functionality. Return type, if you take string, that is not sufficient. Are you guys clear? What is the problem we are facing? Login successful, dashboard is building, but this user is which user? What is the user ID? What is his role? What is that user ID? What is that role? Where we are maintaining that data? That data we are not maintaining anywhere. The data we are not maintaining anywhere. Okay, we need to think and we need to change that logic. We need to think and we need to change the logic for that. Okay, so tomorrow we will fix that. Currently dashboard is ready. Right. Once the dashboard is ready, cards will be displayed here. Anything is fine. Cards data is coming for the dashboard. Profile. When you click on my profile, that record should be displayed in the editable mode. For that, we need to write one method. Public response entity. Or else, I think already that method is available. No need to write it. In the account rest controller, already we have a method to get the user record based on the user ID. To get the user record based on the user ID, can I reuse the same method, guys? Or do I need to write one more method in the REST controller? Whenever you go for admin view accounts, when you click on edit, that record will come in the editable mode. So same thing. When you click on my profile, same record will come in the editable mode. Do I need to write one more method for that? Do I need to write one more method for the profile? Or account REST controller method is sufficient? This method is sufficient. No need to write once again. We can reuse it. So basic coding is completed, guys. Lot of modifications we need to do. Just I have written the code. I need to test it, how it is working. And there is a problem. So which user is logged in into application? We are not able to figure it out. What is the role of the user? What is the user ID who logged in? That information we don't have currently. We need to figure out what is the best way to maintain the user data who logged into the application. We cannot go for the session management. So because it is a microservice based application REST API, session management should not be implemented. Without session, we need to track which user logged in into our application, what is that user ID, what is the role of that user. So when the user login successful, we should be able to store which user is logged in and what is the role of that user. Based on that, our next operations will happen. Based on that, our next operations will happen. So we'll figure out that. So you guys also think about it. I will also come up with my idea. How can we make it better to remember which user is logged in and how to maintain that user data. You understand what is the gap in our implementation? Guys, are you able to understand what is the gap in our implementation? What is the gap? Login is success. Dashboard is loading, but which user is logged in? What is his role? Which user is logged in? What is his role? That we are not able to maintain now. We need to maintain that information. Are you clear? Perfect. So tomorrow we need to complete this API, guys, with all the changes. We need to test everything and we need to complete this API. Okay. So before this, let me push my code into Git repository. Whatever I have done today. Open my Git bash. Git status. Wow, so many changes I have done today. I have modified all the Java classes today. Let me add them. Git add -a, git commit -m, code updated, git push. Now people are happy. Sar is giving the code. Now you are happy. Code is pushed to GitHub repository. Very happy. If I don't give the code, you are going to become lazy. If I give the code, you will become lazy. If I don't give the code, people are scolding me. What to do, man? If I give the code, you will become lazy. You will not think. You will not try anything on your own. You will become loser. But if I don't give, people are writing negative comments. Sar is not giving the code. What to do? Any questions, anyone? You can ask me. Anybody having any questions, you can ask me. Almost 80% of the coding is completed, guys. So remaining 20% we will complete tomorrow. Now you observe, it is taking 1 week to develop one API. So if I do everything, you will not get anything. You need to do all these things on your own, guys. So please understand and work on it.
Hello,
whatever the code I am writing, definitely it will work. Yeah. Unmute your mic and speak out. Yes, sir.
Sir, mock screen is not working. Link.
I think I need to check it. What is the problem with that? AWS. In the AWS cloud, it is available. Na? I need to check.
Yes.
Why it is not responding.
Getting a 4048.
Hello.
Maybe they delete. Sir.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Sir, are we following a single responsibility principle here?
First, we are working on backend API, sir. This is completely backend. We need to complete our backend first.
No, I'm saying, are we following single responsibility principle here while developing this backend?
Yes, we are following that single responsibility. For every functionality, we are creating separate controller and separate service.
Okay. And in real time, do we? Okay. So in real time, do we implement validation like exception handling at the service layer?
We will do that, sir. I will explain you how to do this.
Okay.
I will implement that. Yeah, guys. So in the AWS S3, that bucket got deleted. I will upload the sample screens once again. Okay. Yeah. So please complete the coding what I have done in the today's session for admin API. Yes. Come on, guys. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, which your shortcut key you use for initialize the variable?
Control Alt V.
Control Alt
V. In the Spring STS, we have Control 1. Here, Control Alt V.
Okay.
Okay, fine, guys. So source code updated. Please go through that and do the implementation. We'll continue in the tomorrow session. Thank you, guys.